Alright, this little guy right here is a stove that came from back east somewhere. Anyway, it's an older stove. It's probably 50, 60 years old or so. And we used it for cooking around the campfire and cooking around our FCS camp out. And it works really good. The only thing is when the wind's blowing, it has a tendency to blow the flame out. So I'm going to put a windshield, build a box for a windscreen that will fit around the box. This will sit down inside it. It will come up to just under the very top of this at that point, and then it will have another box that slides over the top of it with an open top and wing nuts on each side that I can tighten up right here, and we'll be able to adjust this up and down and basically lower it if it's a tall pan or whatever. And I haven't really decided how I'm going to extend that out as far as for a big skillet, but yeah, we'll get it figured out. So anyway, making a box for it right now, using a box creator and fire. And this is the inner box that I'm working on. There's the bottom and one side, and then the other three sides, or the other side and the two ends, however you want to say it. It's coming up here and going to town. So we're cutting that out and creating that and going to town with it. Alright, just went around and put glue on all of the fingers that go out, all the little boxes, fingers you want to call them, and then I'm going to just put it in some of the box and throw some clamps around it. Alright, I took these out the driveway yesterday and I sandwiched them. Some of it I used regular just foam, some of it I used some liquid nails. We'll find out. You can generally tell the ones that have got the foam. I'm getting down to the liquid nails. The liquid nails only did like 2 of these, and I already used can of that foam did the other. So we'll find out whether it holds them together. These are hot targets, and basically I just use, sandwich 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, and then crisscross them, then run about a 3.5-inch screw through them, and that basically sandwiched them together and let them glue up overnight. It's off an old deck that I had in the backyard to resurface, put new boards on it. And I thought, man, them boards are still useful for something. Well, we'll throw hawks at them and knives, and yeah, so we'll get the most out of it we can. I'm going to finish taking these nails out of there because the rest of these will run down through there overnight. I already pulled all them out on that side. So let me get that done. All right. We made a lot of projects on this thing. I made feather boards. I've made, you name it. I've made boxes. I've made BB guns. I've made pickaxes. I've made several kind of boxes. The history's on there. I've cut out lasers with some lasering stuff. Anyway, this 1/4-inch piece of Luan is getting pretty chewed up, and when I go to V-carbon, a lot of times I'll clean it up. But I'm going to go ahead and just pull that off of there and then run a flattening bit over it, which is take a 0.01 off of it, just a 0.01 off the top of it. Now clean up all the screw holes and the nail holes, and that's my primary method of doing that. And this is a piece of 3/4 MDF, and on top of that was a 3/4-inch piece of particle board. As you can see, it's getting down there to about maybe a little over half inch maybe. Anyway, that'll clean all the nails off of it, and then yeah, so this works good. I mean, I've had this on here for a couple years now, and I just replaced this and then mill it one time, put a new one down. So anyway, I'm going to put a flattening bit on it and have that do that while I'm doing some other stuff. All right, now I could turn that over and use that edge, but I've punctured through a couple places and it won't be nice and flat. Sometimes if it's in pretty good shape, I'll just flip it back over. But there's that. Put that over in the old burn pile, and that's got a bunch of nails down through it. And then I'll just run the flattening bit and go right over the top of those nails, all these screw holes, and everywhere the screw's been in there, it's puckered it up. Well, you take a 0.01 out of it, and it'll clean all the nails off of it, and it will also make it nice and flat. So I'll get the old 2-inch bit out and put it in the center, and away we'll go. Alright, that thing's about to dry up. I'll be able to take the clamps off and get this other one glued up. This one's got the slots in it. And while that's all gluing up, and drying, I'll flatten this bit up here. And basically all I did is just went to the center of it, and bottomed out the bit down on the top of it in the center. And this I'm going to use a CNC Tools deal, which is just basically the tool path that I have on the USB drive. I programmed this years back, and it's basically will surface the entire deal if I just start at the center, and it'll only take a 0.01 off the top of it, so it just puts a skim. If I don't quite get it, then I'll hit it again. And of course this one's really, it's almost down to a 1/2 inch, which I took off a 1/4 inch off of it. But it's full of nails and screw holes, and they dimple up. I mean, if you're wanting a V-carve and you want it flat, this way you get a brand new flat fixture. And of course, this top fits down over the top of it, so anything that's flying will fly and just, bounce off the sides of that. So I definitely wouldn't want to do this without having a box around it. So win-win with the enclosure. So let me get that thing started and get her going. Alright, outside looking in, loaded up the tool path off the USB and we're just going to hit next and turn on the vacuum, turn the pendant on, vent through the outside. If you was doing this on the MDF and you didn't have a box on here, yeah, you're going to have a whole shop full of stuff. Alright, that's not really going down and doing anything, so I'm going to lower it just 1 hair of an inch. Start seeing where it's leaving a little bit of an image on the top of the board as it cuts. So that'll be good enough right now. And I'm going to go through there, and every now and then you'll hear a little pop, a little click. That's one of them little pin nails hitting the side of the box. And those things don't do anything to the covers. I've been cutting on them for a long time. You can hear that one bouncing off there. I've been cutting them for a long time and never had any bits break, or you can't tell that they're a bit dull hitting. So, this is working good. And we'll get that thing flattened up. We'll be ready for the next one. And there she goes. She's about to hit this one pin on the side. You can hear it make just a little click. And sometimes it's going to kick a little bit of a piece of sawdust or something up. But anyway. Good method, and that full board will take many more surfacings on it to keep it nice and flat and clean. And one thing good about CNC is while it's in there doing the job, cleaning up the mess, cutting out the boards, you can be out here doing something else in the project. So I had some emblems that I was making, and they were 4-hour projects. Well, when you're doing 4-hour projects, you got time to make something else. And, while it's cutting them out, you got time to assemble. You got time to make jigs for your shop. You got time to make boxes and storage boxes and paint boxes and spray paint boxes and all kinds of cool stuff. Jigs for your saws, and your different things, modifications, the tools, because that CNC's in there getting something done, and you're getting something done. So, a lot of fun. Good stuff. Alright, for you guys that are making batches of projects, get you some 1/4 inch plywood and run you some screws down through there, all the same length. Try and keep them all the same length. And then you put your boards and your different things on top of those little pinholes. they don't really seem to affect the finish. I generally will start off finishing the back sides up first, and then I'll spray them with lacquer or paint or whatever, and then get them wet, and then I can flip them over pretty fast and finish the other side. But this makes a great jig for that, and I can do 70 plaques with this setup, keeping stuff up on top of it. And this comes in from the derby stuff that I would do when I was younger, or and here's like a derby car plaque or a small project plaque, and so you can make different size ones for different deals. But anyway, and I like the sharp pointed screws. You definitely don't want to step on them, so don't leave them laying around on the floor. But they make a great jig tool for spraying finishes and letting them things dry. So now that is just a 1/2 inch dowel with a hole in it. It's easy to make, and store them up out of the way when you need them. They easily slide off. All right. Now what you have left is a perfectly flat board, and if you really wanted to, you could put some fine sawdust in there and clean that up and mill it up if you really wanted to. Anytime you got screws or something that's while they're out in a place, you can stick a toothpick or a bamboo, just a little bamboo stick that they use for skewers, a little glue, stick that down in there, and away you go. So anyway, that's perfectly flat now for V-carving on, and that's like a brand new one. I'll put a piece of 1/4 inch on top of that, and it'll be good to go. All right, first stove's in there, the right height. Don't want a hot pan just sitting on top of the wood, so give a little bit of space there. This will be wrapped with aluminum foil as well inside the box, and that'll make it easy to clean up and that good stuff. And it may last 2 or 3 campouts. We don't have to keep that clean, but just as long as it reflects the heat off of it, that's what we're after. So there we go. Never can have enough clamps. This box, I got some notches on the sides on 2 places that they're not full box joint, and so they make me a weak spot. I'll probably reinforce the outside of that's the outside of the box. I'll probably reinforce it with a little something to to reinforce those joints that are not quite perfect, and but the inner box should slide inside it no problem. So this has also got the slits on the sides of it to allow me to put a wing nut in the other box and just slide it on, so it'll slide it up and down. And of course, I did forget to cut out my top for that, but hey, we'll just see what we got here. This box here, with the top of it, it'll come down, and as it slides up, it'll have the option of sliding up and down the sides here. So I don't have that really worked out just yet, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Probably end up cutting that other deal out, but I did want something in there in the middle to reinforce that as it goes up and down. So we'll see. That may just be a top of it, and I may have to put something else on it. So that may just slide over the top of it and keep everything enclosed, and then I may just have to make some wings that fit down inside the box that will extend up inside here as well. So we'll just see how she goes. Okay, went around the box and put a couple carriage bolts on each side. These handles are glued and screwed to the 2 box lids. They just come together. So this one's on this side and this one's on this side. And so yeah, I haven't finished anything. I haven't sanded on it yet to clean it up. And I'll do that and then put a good coat of waterproof paint on it. But let me go ahead and pull these out and get this done so I can open this up. But basically, you just take your deals on there. I've got one little bitty touching right there, so I need to get that to where that sands out so it doesn't connect, because I don't want to sit there and fight that all the time. And then that comes off there like that. Do the other side, which is a lot easier. The way the other one should be. And then this just lifts off. Alright, and there's your stove. There's your lid. This also will nest down inside that lid, inside that box. There's your handles are on there. They're screwed with the screws in there, and it's also glued with 2 types of glue. So those should be on there pretty good. And then of course there's my 2 screws here. And the way this is set up is a pan will still clear the wooden part right here, and this is going to get lined with a metal lining. I'm going to, I think, put a little metal flap, or just take a piece of sheet metal and put it in here, and then have it to where it comes up in case we need a windshield that will come up to this point, and that kind of deal. And of course, you know, this will nest down inside the box, and do it that way. So I think this will be a nice addition. These are epoxied in, so they won't come out. And they're really not up to that point where they'll really bug you too much. So there we go there. And it's coming together. We'll do a little sanding, cleaning up time. And this one I had some slots put in there for thinking that I was going to have some things that would come up. But I decided I'd make this removable and just make it to where I can put this thing in a box to hose inside it and clean it up. I'll round these off just a little bit so that there's no sharp projections on it. But these joints are box jointed, and they're extremely tough. I've got these boxes that I made 4 years ago. They get banged around. I got all kinds of material in them, and pull them out, just grab them, pull them out, and they're rock solid. And the colleague will testify to it. She wants to go back inside. Let me go put her inside. She thought she was going to get a go out and run outside and play with toy, but not right now. And anyway, so that's the project, and it's come along just fine. And we'll get it tuned up, finished up, and today's Sunday, so we're going to church first.